But the truth is that Fred Vasseur's contract does end this year. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mars, and we got something to talk about today. Fred Vasseur and the situation at Ferrari is insane. And listen, I know that YouTubers love to hype up some situation going on and be like, this is crazy, what's going on? But this one is actually crazy. And I'm not that type of person. This is a small channel. I'm just a fan like you, and I'm gonna tell you what I think about it and what's actually going on. Basically, the main beef here is that the Italian media really hyped up a rumor that Fred Vasseur was about to be fired from Ferrari, which ended up most likely not being true at all. And both drivers jumped up to defend him, both Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, and Fred Vasseur was furious. He responded yesterday and had very rough things to say about the Italian media. Because here's the reality, I see it from Italian fans all the time. They say Ferrari is like a religion in Italy. We have the Catholic Church and we have Ferrari. And it's very much true, and it's a beautiful thing. The problem is some people are too invested into it, and of course the media can then run clickbait stories or things based off of rumors that are not really confirmed and confuse everyone and start problems like this one. So basically, the Italian outlets Gazzetta and Corriere floated stories that Vasseur was about to get fired, that he was not performing well. We know that Ferrari's not doing as well as last year, but let's not forget that Ferrari's number 2 on the standings right now. Yes, it's really far from McLaren, but it's still not doing that bad. And basically, these Italian outlets went ahead and said that Leclerc and Hamilton were not happy about it, which later on both drivers clarified that it wasn't true. Then Vasseur even pointed out that the fact that these outlets have been saying that Leclerc is about to leave Ferrari is a problem, because he said many times that he expects to be there until 2029. He's there for the long run, and he defends Fred Vasseur. And this is a much deeper problem than what we're seeing with the sport, because the problem with Formula 1 is that there's a lot of drama content, and I can't stand that. You know that when I make these videos, I'm telling you the truth of what I think and what I have based on facts. I'm not jumping to conclusions, and if I do, I'll tell you this is a rumor, this is not a fact. The problem was that these outlets ran these stories as the truth, and it is not the case. So let's look at where Ferrari is actually sitting right now, because like I said before, Ferrari's not doing that bad. They're second on the constructors. Yes, when we look at this team, is not performing anywhere near as good as it was doing last year, especially I'm a Ferrari fan, I don't hide this from you guys. It kind of sucks to see that, especially after such a big move like Hamilton to Ferrari, and we expected big things, but we know how Ferrari goes. They never deliver on their promises, and when they don't promise, they deliver. That's just how it goes. So let's look at the reality right now of where Ferrari actually stands. Yes, Ferrari is second on the standings, like I said before, but it is far from McLaren. Matter of fact, as you can see, Ferrari sits 197 points away from McLaren. So the lead that McLaren has over truly everyone else is crazy this year. That car is a rocket ship, and hats off to McLaren, and I know I have a lot of McLaren fans in my audience, so good for you guys. But people are quick to jump to conclusions, and it really looks like Ferrari has been slowly but surely improving little by little. A lot of times it's hard to see this because we compare, for example, a team like Red Bull, when we see Max Verstappen definitely outperforming the 2 Ferrari drivers, but it's just Max. As a team, they're not doing as well as Ferrari is. But on the defense of these Italian outlets, the truth is that Ferrari does often float these rumors around to pressure team principals or drivers. And I'm talking about the people that truly own and run the team, not Fred Vasseur. We know this has happened before. They fired many team principals after like 2 years. At this point, it feels like we're watching a football team or soccer. This is not how I want to see Formula 1 being run. I complained about this in the past when it's done to junior drivers like Jack Doohan. You have to give people a chance to truly show their potential. I know it's hard when they're really underperforming, but even as a Ferrari fan, I'm not expecting them to fire a team principal because they're not doing so well this year, when last year Ferrari was doing really well and it was actually up there competing for the championship. So this is what Ferrari is actually working on. Ferrari is working on a big upgrade package. This includes many things, but especially a revised front wing to really improve this whole car that's struggling right now. But the truth is that Fred Vasseur's contract does end this year. So there's a lot of rumors around it, but it shows 2 things. He is, 1, committed to the team. He's not going to take the drama and all this nonsense, and he's focused on the mission. Now, you may like or not like the guy. I have a lot of things that I like about him, a lot of things that I don't like about him, but I like this attitude. He is committed. He is fighting back against the rumors and things that simply aren't true. Now, if it turns out to be true, I'll be the first one to come here and tell you that I was wrong. But so far, that's not what it looks like. It looks like it's just pure rumors. Now, like I briefly mentioned before, Ferrari has a history of doing this, and it's actually problematic. We saw this with Binotto or Arriva Bene, and the good thing about Fred doing this is that it's probably going to start a cultural shift at Ferrari. At least, hopefully, I hope it does, where they stop this destructive pattern, because as a fan of the sport, first of all, but also Ferrari, I don't want to see this. It's fun when you see the drama when you're watching Drive to Survive or something like that, where you know it's for drama, but not from a news outlet that's actually supposed to report facts. That's not what they're doing. I hope this covered the majority of your questions. If you have any, let me know in the comments below. And I know this is not my typical format for those OG fans that have been watching my videos for a while. And don't worry, I'm not going to stop doing my more elaborate videos, more documentary style. But now that we have a more settled community, I want to start doing this type of format too, so I can interact with you guys. And like I said, I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan just like you. I do read a lot before I make these videos, and I do fact check because I don't want to tell you lies. But my main goal with this channel is creating a community where we can talk to each other and interact down below in the comments. So I'll be reading you like always and answering your questions. If you hate drama but you like facts-driven commentary, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.